This is just our take it or leave it advice for the high school season. And we'll go through kind of maybe if you're a freshman, if you're a sophomore, if you're a junior or senior, but just as much to the parents of said kids as well. Hey guys, Ben Jenkins, founder, CEO, and design director at Warstic. I wanted to take a break from talking about products or industry stuff or whatever it may be and like put my dad hat on. I also wanted to introduce Jordan Davis, who is our Team Warstic director. So he's directing up to 40 teams from ages, like 7, 8, up to 18. We're very similar in terms of our playing experiences. We have many years of being around the game and failing and having war wounds from that. But like, I think what's interesting about us is you've coached my youngest son since he was maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah, 10.
10. And I've gone through, I think I'm on my third kid of going through high school sports. Because you're lucky enough to have young daughters, you actually haven't had this internal war happen within yourself, which I like because you've actually seen us dads go through the stress that we go through, and moms, especially pitchers' moms. You know, so I kind of like that you don't have boys going through high school and you haven't had to feel that gut-wrenching stress yet. What do you see as the biggest challenge for those, like say 14-year-old kids going from this culture of select baseball and all that entails to now they're a little bit away from mom and dad and honestly you, big brother, that they've had for a long time, and now they're with this high school coach and they're going from, and now they're practicing every day and they're going to school. Like, what do you think the biggest challenge and wake up thing that they wake up to and are surprised by is? And there's no right, I mean, anything that.
Yeah, I think we're like, so this is like my 17th year doing this maybe. It's always the unknown. It's like you don't know what you don't know, and so they're walking into a completely new environment where they have a history with me or with the club coach or whoever they played with previously, and they show up every practice twice a week and tournament Saturday, Sunday over the course of the 4 or 5 years, whatever you play with that guy, and you have an expectation, and he has an expectation of you. Going into a high school season and you don't really know the coach and you may not know all the players if you don't know who's coming in from other middle schools and things like that. It's a lot of unknowns and there's a lot of anxiety I think that goes with, I'm the starting second baseman on my club team for the last 2-3 years. Is there a kid who's better than me, or is there a kid who's been a shortstop and there's a really good shortstop so they're gonna move somebody over to that spot? I think that's a big one. It's just the unknown of going, what am I walking into? And I think that maybe gives parents and kids alike the most anxiety most of the time.
Yeah, I agree. Because of you, we've had kids on the same select team for a long time. We haven't had to do the thing where we bounce from one team to the other, which in a way is also a way to, if I'm not starting here, I'll just bounce to another select team and start over there. You get to high school and you're, depending on the high school size and just competitiveness of that environment, I mean, you're more or less competing for spots now. It's like more cut and dry, like, hey, you're going to be competing for spots now. So that can be new. And, hey, in this day and age, there's also a lot of kids just changing high schools too. So it's starting to become a little bit more like college and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, I would say that I'm still holding on to the idea that you grew up in a neighborhood, it's still a badass thing to play for that high school. One of the things that when my oldest son got to high school baseball that it was so refreshing was I realized, this district game matters. The standings are how you get to the playoffs.
Right.
I was like, I remember this when I was a little kid.
It wasn't just a Saturday pool game.
It's just like a random Saturday with the time limit and this and that. But like, you can say what you want about the quality of high school baseball, and it's different in different places of the country. But to me, what was so refreshing and so fun again about getting to high school was, district rivals and competing and wanting to beat your rival school and all that and trying to work your way into the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, that's a fun thing.
And that can last, if you're a freshman that's lucky enough or good enough at a school to be on varsity as a freshman, that could be a 4-year process, right? Where you could be competing against your rival for maybe 4 years. Like, you and I both like varsity baseball players as freshmen, and you get to compete against potentially the same kids in the district for 4 years, and that's it's not like a one-season deal.
It's actually what sports, I think, was intended to be. It feels like you're in something. You're in a big, long war. It's not about it's not just throwaway, right? So that comes with a lot of pressure. That comes with a lot more fun and excitement. And like we have Friday night games at our high school, and it's fun, man. Stadiums thumping, and people are barbecuing, and it's fun. It's what I don't love about select baseball is we're there to typically, yes, get better. Everybody says development but it mostly feels like we're out there showcasing ourselves for something that we're not at yet. And I think we miss a lot. The cool thing about high school baseball is, no matter if you play one game after high school baseball, it is a chance to create some lifelong memories.
Right.
And just say, I did it, I worked for that, I did that, and now I'm moving on to the rest of my life. So as good as you were doing, as good as you are, don't worry about jumping from being not even 16 yet to being the 18-year-old version of yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be so results oriented every day that you're comparing yourself to what you're going to be in 2 years. Flip that to be process minded, and you're just starting your journey, and your goal is to consistently try to get a little better every week, and honestly help your team win, man. Like, just show coach that I'm here to help you win. I'm here to be a great teammate. I always feel like, one, everybody likes that guy.
Right.
And two, you play better when you're just out there trying to beat someone's ass and you're not so focused on yourself.
Yeah.
You know? And I always see that you don't let our kids get away with that too much of an individualistic mindset.
Club
but
stuff's
like,
harder that way, though, right? I think
Yeah.
the club side of what we do versus the high school side is harder because it is it tends to seem in a lot of ways. We've been fortunate that our group's been together for 5 years or whatever, and so they are kind of like have more of a family feel to it, more of a communal feel to it.
Yeah.
But a lot of club stuff, I think, is very transient, and you move around a lot, and so
Yeah.
there isn't that connection sometimes everywhere you go. But the high school, again, I think when you're at one place with a group of guys for as many years as you could be at high school, it becomes a community, and it becomes like I don't know. It seems like everything matters. Every game's a little more intense. It's not,
Yeah.
you only have so many of them, and it's not like you can't just sign up for one more tournament to get some more games in high school. If it's over, it's over. And so it's everybody chooses to kind of go to battle together for the duration of that season, and everything has some intensity to it.
if you're a freshman going into high school baseball, again, I think right now it's like, I don't care how good you are right now, you're not as good. I mean, unless you're not planning to work at all for the next 3 years, you're not as good now as you're going to be next year and the year after that and the year after that. So right now, I think it's get used to the high school environment, and practicing every day is like actually a cool thing. Like, you have a chance to get a ton of reps and skill up.
Yeah.
It's kind of refreshing to go to school and go, oh, I get an hour or two today to work. And that's pretty good. Of course, that depends on how much your coaches put into that and stuff like that. But now it's like a chance for you and your guys your age to just get good, man. Just get good so that you can, I think a good goal for freshman year is to kind of earn your reputation as a kid that is there to play, loves it, and is going to be part of the future of the program.
Okay.
Like, that's not shooting too high, but a lot of times freshmen get weeded out because this is when we find out, do you really want to do high school baseball or football or whatever it may be. A lot of people stop playing said sport, could be football too, after freshman year because it's like, I just don't love this. And that's fine.
It's a lot of time.
But if you want to play, and we're talking like, we're assuming you really want to make the most of your high school career, the main thing that you can do as a freshman is not try to say, hey, I'm the best player in the entire program and I need to start at shortstop and hit fourth right now.
Yeah.
Most likely it's like, hey, I want them to see me as a guy that's going to be in this program for a long time, and I'm here to work and I'm here to learn all the time. Have a learning
whatever
mindset.
you need me to do, right? Whatever it
Yeah.
takes, that's the development piece. Like, everybody loves a dirt bag, a cage rat that just keeps showing up. And
It would be hard to find people that don't like a cage rat and a dirt bag.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's that growth mindset person that just, if I see a kid that just, I can feel that he loves it and he treats other kids well. I mean, be a guy that I like to coach.
Yep.
That's something.
Yeah.
I mean, be coachable, but be enjoyable to coach. Don't jump too fast to what you need to be today. Remember that we're here right now. You're just getting into this, and start that journey though. That think of yourself as your high school journey is a trajectory. Each year, your goal is just get a little better. But like my sophomore version, I was just trying to get my foot in the door and be on the team so that I could even get good.
No, as a sophomore, I was maybe 130 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And I think I started playing year round in like when I was 13, maybe.
Yeah,
It was
you're
something
right.
that I kind of fell into, luckily. But I think it was a result of me being like in the right place at the right time. And I think if you saw me as a sophomore in a lot of high schools now, like I probably didn't look the part. I looked like
Yeah.
I probably could have been coming out of 8th grade at that
Yeah.
point. I was small. It worked out really well for me, and I got to be around older guys. I got to be around the varsity level of baseball earlier than I may have been otherwise.
Yeah.
Which I think was all part of getting me ready to take those next steps.
Yeah. So one, I think the best thing you can do is be a guy that's picking other people up and be a teammate. I'm not saying be coach's kiss ass, just work. But like when other guys are down, pick them up and be that positive influence on the team. You can show that you have that leadership capability no matter how well you're doing on the field. So a lot of sophomores, there might be a senior shortstop or a senior this and that, and you're like, well, I'm a shortstop. Well, you want to get on the field or not? Maybe you need to play a little second base today. Maybe you need to play a little right field right now instead of center field. Right. As a sophomore, your goal should be to get on the field and have an impact, a positive impact on the team. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of my mindset with sophomores.
You can only have 9 guys on a field at a time, right? Regardless of like how good guys are or whatever. You can have 9 on a field. You can have some really good dugout guys, some really good guys who are, your 2 guy at second, or a guy gets on the mound and you become the starting left fielder that day. And but if you're doing all the other things really well and picking up your teammates and showing up early and staying late and doing all the other stuff, I think it makes it easier for a coach to want to pull for you or to want to put you in that spot when those opportunities come up.
Yeah.
Versus being a guy who's, selfish or pouty or doesn't want to do the extra stuff that it takes when it's not glamorous, like you said, or when it's maybe not directly helping you get in the lineup. It's just the right thing to do to be a part of a team, being a cog in the wheel.
Yeah.
It's the most most individual team sport there is, right?
Like, yeah, but like I said, we go back to that it's high school baseball. You're playing for your school, your community, and trying to win like maybe a district championship. Like it isn't as much about you anymore as it was in select ball. Like where we kind of expect.
It's hard to change that though, right?
Yeah,
you have to be cognizant of that a little bit. You can't just show up and be the same person you've always been. If you're not that guy, it isn't that easy, but it is. It's a real thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think along with that it popped in my head was just body language, especially with the younger guys, you freshmen, you sophomores. I mean, body language would be the number one killer of people believing in you. Like, I think there's 2 things. There's you believing in yourself, and if you make an error, you strike out and your body language is horrible, you're sending a message to your subconscious that you suck, which isn't going to help you in the next at bat. Even worse than that, you're telling everybody in the stadium and your coach, you probably should think that I suck. Yeah. So
letting the other team know they got you.
All of it, man. Tough. Like there's absolutely no benefit to bad body language at any time. And I sound like the most old school time, but like every chance you screw up is a chance to show people that you're able to move on from it. And that's also what encourages them to do the same thing. Be angry inside, be upset. Yeah. That's natural. Give it a limit. I got like 5 minutes and then this is done. Yeah. And then move on.
Or that third out of the inning happens and I gotta go be a defender. I gotta go take care of the team and quit worrying about my at bat. Right, I have a chance to maybe help us win in another way.
The old don't take offense into defense thing. And I mean, you got a chance. Maybe you just aren't feeling it that day at the plate. Well, go play the best defense you've ever played. Just do that kind of thing. I don't know that looking at stats from mom and dad and you and results early on in a high school career is going to help you do better. Everyone's different, but like. For me, I don't think I've ever looked at my older kid's high school stats. I just know that he had a smile on his face and he enjoyed his high school career. And he won some awards in this, but I think he was good at high school baseball because he said, you know what, I'm just gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna enjoy being here and doing this. You have to have a way to get into a competitive mindset. I think in high school baseball, it's a lot easier.
It's a little more built in for sure.
It's a little more built in. And I think it's what your coach wants. Again, he's there to help your team do as well as they can. Like, I think you're going to play better if your mindset is quit worrying about yourself, quit worrying about mom and dad, try to beat the other team.
Right.
Most kids who are really competitive kids and good athletes and they're trained, you're going to play your best like that. So I'm not saying it's win at all costs. It's a totally different concept, but like playing to win and being competitive with the other team, you're usually going to relax and you're going to play and you just be in the fight, man. Be in there and mix it up. As a parent, even more than a kid, I think you can help your kid by not being results oriented on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And definitely don't. I mean, go watch Coach Ballgame more than me, but like, we're not going to help our kids as much as we think that we're going to do. I mean, you've told me to leave the dugout plenty of times, but like us dads and especially explaining, we want to help our kid like, hey, in that at bat, use this and that, maybe do this. Like that urge is there, but especially in high school coaches does not want to see that.
No chance.
Like there's no chance. Like you're going to, one, it's not going to help your kid anyway, and 2, you're going to really get your high school coach not liking you.
Right.
So just resist every urge to kind of do that. But also it's just like, if You're still going to see your kid when he gets home, and good or bad. Like, I would not, if he had a great game, celebrate, have fun, but don't take it too high. And if he struck out 4 times, don't take it too low. Best thing I do with my kid sometimes when he had a bad day, he'll go, can we go to the cage? And I just go, yeah. And there's nothing that needs to be said, because he's learned that if I had a bad day, at least I can proactively go to the cage and I can kind of start feeling better. You know, so get into, you know, not just taking every good and bad thing as life or death, you know. So just accept that it's going to be like that, and it's like, here we go. I'm here for it. I'm going to see what happens. I think a statement that I've learned big time is, I'm going to show up to my kid's game. I'm just going to see what happens. That's what we're here to do. It's not us. It's not our life. It's their story, not ours. That kind of thing.
Make it hard on those guys to not give you the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
It's their job to. It's your job to make it hard on them to keep you out of the lineup. It's not really their job to.
Yeah.
Put you there just because. Like, you make it hard on them to not put you in the game. Make it hard on them to not want you around, or want you in the dugout, or not want you to have the opportunities, because they like your character and your work ethic and your ability to show up and just be a good team guy, even if you're not having a great day or great weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll wrap up with my stupid green hat story. How's that?
Yeah.
So my kids' team colors are red and black, so I wear a green hat to the games. Like, I have a surf nickname that's like Pine Tree. And since he's been little, there's been an established mentality towards what that's about. Super simple. It basically just means when you're in a tough situation, when you're great, just stay chill. So me and him will look at each other and just be chill. Pine trees, it's just a thing. Like, they always have a green, right? Pine tree's job is to keep feeding itself good vibes and stay green. At the end of the day, I mean, that's like, I could see it in him. First time he stepped on a varsity football field, I saw him. He's all hyped up to go, but then I saw him take a breath and just go, whew. And it's this little thing, but it's a big deal. So like, when I have him see me in the stands watching his games, I want him to see me as calm, cool, and like, I love you no matter what.
Whether you are on the inside or not.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm faking it till I make it. But like, the green reminds me, like, he could look at me and I just need to look like I love him no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'm super proud of you for being out there doing something that hard.
Yeah.
And that's it. So find something with your son that tells him, or your daughter, I mean, obviously softball too, but like, that you're cool with whatever happens here, and I'm here to support you, you know, because that's a massive thing. Anyway, thanks for hanging with me today.
Enjoyed it.
See you out there.
Good luck, guys.